likely at Ranchi this time, spinners possibly to play a big role. Ajit even said the seamers could play a big role with lots of cutters, that sort of game.
Yeah, so generally what happens in the east of India, you get a lot of black soil wickets. And there hasn't been a lot of sun there. From my understanding, it's pretty cold, it's pretty nippy. It's about 17, 18 degrees out there. So it's, there definitely isn't a lot of sun. So obviously the wicket being prepared in the way it is being prepared, I don't think it's gotten enough sun for it to kind of dry out completely, perhaps. But I don't know what they've done with that. But I think that bowling first will obviously there will be a lot of advantage. And generally, has been a wicket that if it doesn't have enough sun on it, it tends to turn a little bit. And it has a little bit of a little bit jagged turn, if I can say so. And so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it comes out. Yeah, because for me, I'm always of the belief that I want to see a couple of overs before I understand what this wicket will do. It's so hard to
Yeah.
kind of read a wicket. Hasn't
Yeah.
Dan can tell me if he has been able to read a wicket before a ball's been bowled.
Oh, sure, of course, yes, all the time. Come on, Daniel.
Absolutely.
Halfway through, I still get it wrong.
Yeah. Well, I wonder though if it's because of this surface, Dan, that Harshal Patel has gotten the nod ahead of, say, Avesh Khan. If Siraj was injured, you think Avesh Khan with this pace is the like for like per se, but this surface, if cutters are going to come into place, that tilted it in favor of Harshal.
Yeah, well, I think if we're honest, the reason behind Harshal Patel's success has been that development of that off spinner, and it's more than an off spinner. You see how much revolutions he gets on the ball. It's Dwayne Bravo at a faster pace, and anyone who's faced Dwayne Bravo realise how difficult it is to pick up and how much it can deceive batsmen. And Harshal Patel has pretty much deceived every batsman who's come up against them in the last couple of seasons with that off spinner, and he always turns it into a top spinner, and so he gets that dip, and then he can confuse batsmen. And because of his increased pace, he really can set a batsman up, and batsmen can't get a feel or a read on what he's trying to do. So, look, if that culminated with a reasonable sized ground and the ability for the wicket to take a bit of spin, I think he'll be ideal. Plus, I think the fact that they'll look to use him in the death. Siraj is obviously their death bowler. Avesh Khan a bit more of an attacking option in that power play and the middle stages. So I think it all lines up for the perfect debut scenario for Harshal.
Yeah, we heard that through the IPL on our coverage many times, Robbie. A lot of similarities and comparisons to Dwayne Bravo. Any, I think, upcoming bowler in T20 cricket would take that, or any bowler in T20 cricket
Oh, yeah.
would take that. What's going to be the step to take, though, between, say, playing franchise cricket to international cricket? Is it lengths? Is it what's Harshal got to keep in mind to succeed here?
Just make sure he goes and executes what he wants to execute on that day, because I don't think the difference between IPL and international cricket is too much. Sometimes I do feel like the pressure in IPL is possibly a little bit more than international cricket. In certain games, though, not every game. In certain games, though, but I think he just want to go out there and execute his skills to the best of his ability. I think, like Dan said, one of his biggest strengths is the fact that it's not just an off spinner; he's got the top spinner as well, and he gets them to dip. And that's the most difficult thing, I think, as a batsman, because sometimes you spot it, but you don't anticipate the dip. So for bowlers like him and Dwayne Bravo, you really want to be able to be ready for the dip and anticipate the dip that's going to happen when that slower ball comes, so that they can get under it. Because otherwise they won't get under it, and then that's how they end up getting bowled or getting beaten by the pace of. About the delivery. So for guys like what we generally do is we anticipate that slower ball come in every ball, because he's not very quick. So that even if he does bowl a quick ball, we trust our.
All right, I'll just get Robbie Uthappa back in a moment, but I've still got Dan Vittori with me. The other thing is, Dan, none of these New Zealand batters, at least from 1 to about 6, would have faced him before with Kane Williamson's absence. None of these guys played the IPL. The element of surprise always handy.
I think so, particularly that ball. It takes a little bit to get used to. New Zealand obviously has left-handers in Chapman and Neesham and Satner in that top 7, albeit Neesham and Satner may have seen a little bit of him. I just think he's at that level where he's bowling so well that you want to release him in international cricket just to see how he can do, and I think he'll continue on that form from the IPL. So like I said before, it's an ideal starting scenario for him. And I think with his skills and the confidence that he has, and I think Robbie touched on that earlier, that Harshal Patel is at his most confident at the moment, and that's a great place to be on your international debut.
Yeah, yeah. Robbie, you can complete your point now. We've got you back. Anything to add?
Sorry about that. So I was just saying that, and how we generally approach batting to guys like Dwayne Bravo is that we set ourselves up for the slower ball, and then trust our skills enough that if he bowls quick, that our skills are good enough to take care of that, and trust our instincts are good enough to take care of that, and that helps us kind of be better prepared when that delivery is actually bowled. But with Harshal, what I've seen or noticed is that he's working on variations as time has gone by. He's trying to add more to his repertoire as time goes by, and which I think is a great thing for him. I think it takes a lot of confidence to actually add more things as a bowler, because that involves a lot of skill, a lot of time, and a lot of effort. So he's I think someone who's constantly trying to improve himself as a bowler himself, and I think we've seen that, right? And really happy that he's like I said earlier, he's getting an opportunity to play and display his skills at the international level.
I wonder if the experience of playing on these slightly tacky wickets in the World Cup in the UAE, Dan, has made New Zealand identify or realize better how to bat first on these sorts of surfaces. They lost Mitchell early last game. They went at about 6 and over in the first 10, and those middle overs were when they really took off. You're expecting more of the same?
I wonder if they stumbled onto that just because of the fact of Guptill's performance, and he's not struggle's not the right word, but he got himself through a difficult early stage, and then once he got to assess the bowlers, particularly at the back end, then he was able to be incredibly dominant, and through boundary hitting, through six hitting. So I think the format, like it is for any T20 game, is can we get our top 3 or 4 through to that back end of the game? And I think New Zealand will look at that again. I don't expect them to sit back in the power play. I think the New Zealand team genuinely wants to go hard, like most teams. And Mitchell may be the instigator of that. He may be the one that goes hard, and they let Guptill just get through those stages. So, look, I think New Zealand will assess conditions, and that's what they've done so well for so many years. And I think that's down to Kane Williamson. And I think he likes to play the game on its merits, and he doesn't have he doesn't have an attacking mindset, or he doesn't have a defensive mindset. He just has the right mindset for the situation, and I think that sort of pervades its way through the rest of the team. So they'll assess as quickly as they can and see how far they can take that.
I had a quick question for Dan,
yes, please,
if I could.
Please. Sure.
Ronak, sorry. So Dan, I just want to understand from a Kiwi perspective, between Glenn Phillips and Tim Seifert at number 3, and who would Kiwis ideally look to? Because Tim Seifert is generally an opening batsman, but is batting at number 4 at the moment. But having seen that he's an opening batsman who's been successful at that position, wouldn't it ideally mean that him batting at number 3 would be more useful for the side?
Firstly,
seeing that he's an opening batsman who's been successful at that position,
so that's nice of you, Robbie, just to do that.
Ideally mean that number 3 would be more useful for the side.
Look, I think it is. I think it's more to do with
seeing that he's an opening batsman who's been successful at that
4 or 5
position.
That's nice of you, Robbie. They really like him,
mean that
so to speak.
Would be more useful for the side.
I think it's more to do with. I think they're
seeing that he's an opening batsman who's been successful at that position.
That's nice of you, Robbie. They really like him.
Mean that would be more useful for the side.
I think it's more to do with. I think they're
seeing that he's an opening batsman who's been successful at that position.
They really like him.
Mean that would be more useful for the side.
I think it's more to do with. I think
seeing that he's an opening batsman who's been successful at that position.
They really like him.
Mean that would be more useful for the side.
I think it's more to do with.
Seeing that he's an opening batsman who's been successful at that position.
They really like him.
Mean that would be more useful for the side.
I think it's more to do with. He got a lot of early opportunities. He's batting 4 or